So I'm here looking at this footage from the documentary that we shot with Charleston White a couple years ago. The intent back then was to use the documentary as something that we can potentially sell and use that revenue to help with spiritual endeavors, but it didn't work. It failed. But the documentary is free for you to see on YouTube at my YouTube channel at Victor Bang, and you can see the work. But there was some powerful things that were said during that documentary by both Charleston and his mentor that I want to follow up on that relates to Black people. And for those that don't know who Charleston White is, you can Google him and you can see and hear his work. But he's a popular guy in the hip hop world. And he speaks a lot of truth, but he also speaks a lot of nonsense. And as his pop said, the ignorant person will fall off in the nonsense. But this is something also that he said.
In today's time, the truth ain't the truth no more. The truth is what you can make a motherfucker believe. Man,
And that is true. It's not the truth. It's what you can make someone believe. And in this talk, we're going to talk about Negroes, Black people, African American, and niggas, the hip hop one. So be prepared. Because Charleston says, and it's his own words, that this is what he is.
I'm a Texas nigga.
So he's playing the role of a nigger, an uneducated nigger. And we're going to talk about that because that's what's shucking and jiving all over YouTube, the bread and circus. Most of the Black folks are shucking and jiving niggas. It's a mindset that's being marketed and it's out there and it's not benefiting us. So this is Pops, Charleston White's mentor. We happened to meet him and got to talk to him. And he enlightened us with some of the stuff he learned from Charleston about Negroes, and all that stuff. Let him speak for himself.
The nigga and the hip hop, the new generation. See, I know about the nigga, I know about the Negro, I know about the Afro-American, and I know about the just black. I didn't know nothing about the nigga and the hip hop. Well, he introduced me to the nigga and the hip hop, so I listened to him. Tell me about the young niggas and the young hip hops that wear their pants down by their peanuts and their booties all over the United States.
So part of the reason why I wanted to talk to Charleston is because he said he was playing the character of a nigger, right? Of an ignorant nigger. But he was a smart intellectual that went to school, but is playing a dumb role because of the amount of money and fame associated with, and that he would get more attention playing a nigger than playing an educated Black person. So Pops just reiterating that he is playing a nigger.
He acted a nigga. He said he was playing the part of a nigga, a dumb, illiterate, ignorant person. But niggas are not dumb. Niggas are not illiterate. Niggas was from somewhere else and come over here and the white boy started calling them nigga. Ain't no such thing as a nigga. That's the white boy's word, and he gave away some people.
So, and I'm agreeing with them because niggers, as they say, has to do with ignorant Black people, but we were programmed to be ignorant. Like we didn't come here ignorant. This is something that's propagated on us, right? So now we're taking that idea and stereotype of the ignorant Black nigger and we're running with it because it's making money and fame. It's making us money and fame.
So when the white boy gave away some people the word nigga, then all of a sudden they changed to become Negro. Dr. King them went and got an education and they became educated, so they became Negro. They became white because if you're a Negro, that means that you've been to a European school, so you got European knowledge. You don't have African knowledge, neither do you have North Korea knowledge, and neither do you have Russian knowledge. You don't have any.
So that was pretty profound when he said that, as far as the quote unquote Negro, right? This is the educated Black man, but educated in what? Educated in his own history or educated in the history of its colonizers, right? It's his colonizers. And it's interesting, you'll see in the documentary, if you decide to watch it, not many people have, there's a spiritual theme that went through it. And spiritual being having a human experience, Victor Bang is shooting a documentary, is going to have spirituality involved in it, but it's interesting to hear them talk about spirituality.
But to me, he was a spiritual being. Because why was he a spiritual being? Because the things that he was saying out his mouth,
Yeah, it was interesting talking to Pops because he knew about Charleston when he was younger. And he said Charleston's job is to go to the United Nations and tell the United Nations about black people. Basically, he's saying Charleston's like another Dr. King or Malcolm X, but instead of trying to deal with people and that headache, he just decided to have fun and live his life that way, which is his business, right?
That's his job, is to go to the United Nations and tell the United Nations what the black race is.
There's no judgment in whatever decisions you choose to make because I understand this part of it too.
Trying to lead a bunch of people and trying to talk to a bunch of people and fuck with a bunch of people. I said, I wouldn't bet more fuck with a bunch of people in America. I ain't fucking with him.
So during my time with Charleston, he had some altercations which prevented us from getting into the depth of the conversation that I wanted to in the interview or in the documentary. But this is something else that was pretty profound that was said during that time.
They have their own philosophy. They philosophy.
Talking about the nigger philosophy.
It's crazy. Why is it crazy? Because of the music and a boy teaching a boy. If you've never been around a man, how you know what a man is? You ain't never been around no man. How you know what a man is? I ain't never been around no man. I don't know what a man is. I know what peasants are. So now here we are over here in America.
And I'll just reiterate this point and Charleston to finish it out. But it was a cool documentary. Ran into Beyonce's dad, Matthew Knowles, through synchronicity, happened to be there. He ended up meeting Charleston. But Charleston also echoed this, and this is why I'm pulling up this to see if it's worth talking about this philosophy and the difference. And this is Charleston talking about the guidance and reiterating some of his thoughts.
We had some guidance, but we were misguided with the guidance they gave us. We listened to the older niggas. We wanted them, but they fed us bullshit. We got tricked with the street bullshit. These kids today, they don't want to hear from us. They want us to show them a way out or not tell them. My nigga Sane always tell me, man, I can't hear nothing I can't see. We talking, but we ain't showing them nothing. They can't see it. Since 1980, it's been boys following boys. From listening to their mothers. And we ain't had no guidance of no man, let alone no positive male influences and role models. So 40 years later, we asking, where are all the positive men at? We abandoned them.
So the question is it worth talking about the difference in philosophy and comparing them from the Black, African-American, Afro-American, Negro, and nigger? Because the nigger philosophy makes money, but what does it do to our community and our culture in the long run of things? So is that something that we have an appetite to discuss and bring out in the open? I don't know.